Hello, my dear viewers. It's McGann, your friendly neighborhood fangirl. I've had a number of people ask me if I think Kubo and the Two Strings has any relation to Coraline. And after listening to the movie several times on a long car trip, I have to say I think there is something there. Something huge that I've somehow completely missed before. Wait, let me throw out the buffer that I'm sure most of you watching right now have already seen a lot of my Coraline videos, and that's awesome. But it may also be helpful to watch my Kubo theory before continuing here, because I had a few theories that I think are very strong, and I go over a lot of notes that I took. Everyone all cut up and good to go? Yay! Okay, I am thrilled to present to you my first KuboLine theory. KuboLine? Kubo. Which is better? KuboLine is a better reference, I think. It sounds closer to both titles, whereas Kubo sounds like exercise equipment you buy from an infomercial. So, let's talk about Kubo's aunts, known only as the sisters. Maybe it's just me, but when I heard their voice, I thought for sure it was Teri Hatcher, the actress who voiced Mel Jones and the other mother in Coraline. It turns out that's not right. The sisters are actually voiced by Rooney Mara. But man, she really sounds like Teri Hatcher. Way too much so, in fact. And that can't be an accident, because this film was already using Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey. So Laika could have handpicked any actress or voiceover artist that they wanted. I theorize that intent was there, but they didn't want to be too on the nose about it. So I put on Kubo and the Two Strings again to go on a detail hunt. And side note, Kubo is a film that you could go through frame by frame and find something interesting to talk about every time. It's really a visual masterpiece. But for all the details I noticed, there was something missing that raised more questions for me. We watch Beetle die, and his body hangs around on screen to assure us that he is not coming back, and that the film has no problem showing us dead bodies. In that same scene, Monkey's body is noticeably absent, but we do see her charm is cut in half. Since Monkey's body spawned from the charm, that image is essentially the same as a dead body on the screen. But where is Kubo's aunt? Even though it's implied that Kubo killed her, we are shown no hint of her body, just her broken mask. Similarly, when Monkey fought the other sister, all we see of that death is a mask split in two. But the sisters were not charms like Monkey, they were actually goddesses. So can they possibly be that easy to kill? If so, where are the bodies? I mean, maybe one of the sisters met her end in this movie when she faced off against Monkey. But look at the climax of the film. Kubo desperately tries to defeat the Moon King with force, but he can't. Instead, Kubo uses his instrument, a shamisen, and that guitar-like instrument combines with spiritual powers to stop the Moon King, not by killing him, but by transforming him. Now, hopefully, you have already watched my original Kubo theory before seeing this video this far into it. If not, my belief is that the Moon King reformed his physical being based on the only object he possessed, Kubo's left eye. Now, the Moon King's eye is blue while Kubo's are brown, and I struggled with that for a bit, but several awesome viewers reminded me that a lot of babies are born with blue eyes, meaning it's very possible that Kubo's eye was blue when the Moon King originally snatched it. The eye also belonged to a newborn baby, hence it had no memories attached to it, potentially explaining why the Moon King had no memories when he reformed around the eye and became a human. It's similar to how Hanzo lost his memories when he was turned into Beetle, because his new form was based on his crest, which was an inanimate object. If you listen to the sister explain what they did to Hanzo, she speaks as if the memory loss wasn't intended or expected, just a serendipitous side effect to their treachery. Okay, what does any of this have to do with Coraline? I'm getting there, I swear. Just stay with me a little bit longer. If Kubo's magical powers turn the Moon King into a human, just like it changes paper into origami shapes, that means that Kubo didn't kill his aunt when he strummed the guitar. I mean, look, That particular sister took a sword to the dead center of her chest and got up like nothing happened. So I'm pretty confident that a single note of a song played by an untrained demigod did not obliterate this goddess. And like I said, the instrument doesn't destroy, it transforms, which means the sister didn't die, she became something else. With the Moon King trapped in a clueless human form, there is no one to help the sister change back to her moon goddess state. Not to mention, I would argue that the Moon King eventually died as a human and the celestial heavens lost their ruler permanently. That has to be how it works. Otherwise, Kubo's mother wouldn't show up as a spirit at the end of the film. She would have returned to being a goddess in the heavens. So that's proof that if you die in a human form, your godly rights and privileges are null and void. Anyways, we also have good reason to believe that because Kubo's mother turned on the Moon King and abandoned her family, that the Moon King responded by taking the eyes of his other daughters so that they wouldn't run away someday too. That means, overall, after Kubo defeated the sister with his instrument, we now have an eyeless, potentially immortal creature who has been transformed into something that we cannot possibly comprehend. And just like the sisters transformed Hanzo into Beetle due to his crest, we should look at the behavior of the sister to guess what happened to her. She was sinister, sneaky, emotional once she got upset, and she wove a trap at Hanzo's home and patiently waited to strike. Very spider-like qualities. Well, ringing any bells yet? In case I have failed to lay down enough breadcrumbs, it seems to me that Kubo's aunt, specifically the one hit with the musical force, became the beldam. Kubo and the Two Strings is set in the feudal era of Japan, which, due to my unhealthy obsession with Inuyasha, I know that was roughly 500 years ago. Now, Japan is a long way from Ashland, Oregon, true, but 500 years is also a lot of time to move around the world. Not to mention, we don't know for certain if the other world is exclusively contained in Ashland, Oregon. There could be portals and entry points all over the real world. But if you're not convinced yet, let me offer a few more details to sway you to my theory. If the sister's transformation was anything like the Moon King's or Hanzo's, then her memory was wiped and she only has a few base impulses, flashes of who she used to be, as Beetle described it. Now, what was the last thing the sister was doing? Oh yeah, she was trying to take the eyes of a child. Well, technically eye singular, but only because her father already owned the other eye. If that is the case, that explains why the beldam is so fixated on eyes, because that's literally all she recalls about her past life. By the time that Coraline starts, the sister/beldam has found other uses for the eyes that she's collected, and she's just forgotten that her mission was to specifically get Kubo's eye. Funny enough, the children that the beldam abducts are all roughly the same age as Kubo. It's as if it's a compulsion for the beldam to collect the eyes of tweens for no real rhyme or reason. Because if you've seen my other Coraline videos, you know that I believe the whole eyes powering the other world thing is bogus. Plus, what do the ants do when they find Kubo? They don't try to hurt him. They try to lure him over by saying they're family and that they love him and they want to be together. What does the beldam do? She doesn't violently go after the children that she draws into the other world. She poses as their mother, tell them that she's their real family, their better family, and that she just wants to love them forever. I mean, seriously! If you don't believe this theory holds water, you need to watch both movies again. And being the amnesiac daughter of the Moon King would give us a logical reason as to why it's always night in the other world. It's because the beldam prefers it even if she doesn't remember why. Most spiders aren't nocturnal, only the orb weaver spiders really are, so to always be night in the other world doesn't really make a lot of sense unless we make connections like this. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to like, subscribe, and share this video. I've also got a lot of other videos on my channel that you are fully encouraged to go check out. Plus, you can find me on Facebook at Say Halo Goodbye, which is my gamer tag, or Twitter at _Fanily.